Welcome to Dogman Teepee Hunting, and if you're listening to this, it will be on the Interdimensional Voyagers podcast. I'd like to introduce you to Tonya from Kentucky in the United States. She's a long-term experiencer, and she's an experiencer predominantly of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. And I do believe also with Dogman, but I'm going to let her explain it. I've been looking forward to this. I've been trying to get her on for quite some time now. Yeah, so I'm going to get to it. Okay. And remember, leave a comment, like and subscribe. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Hey, how you doing, Tonya?
I'm doing fine.
That's cool, cool, cool. And you're from Kentucky, aren't you?
Yes, Ashland, Kentucky to be exact.
Okay, that's great. What's the because it's afternoon there for you, isn't it? Late afternoon.
It is 5. I don't have. Let me put my. It's after 5 o'clock. A little bit after
after
5.
5.
5:04 to be exact. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. All right. Okay. You're an experiencer, Tonya, of Bigfoot. Can you start at some kind of the beginning? You know, when you first experienced or came across Bigfoot, what got you interested in it?
It's been a lifelong interest of mine due to my mama, my mom's mom. You know, my grandmother. She played to make a long story short, she played a prank on me and my cousin when we was little. I'm talking about like 6 or 7 years old. But she pulled a prank. She bought a gorilla suit, and she had my uncle. I found this out way later, years later. She had my uncle come out off the mountain real quick and run towards us, and we was sitting on the ground playing. And I looked back and seen it, and we both ran as fast as we could, and I got a scar on my knee from falling in the door trying to get in the house. So she's the one that got me interested, and the movie Legend of Boggy Creek. That's another thing that got me into it, and I started studying the subject 2011, and I think it's 2011.
Okay. So a lot of people have seen the Legend of Boggy Creek. I must admit, I haven't seen it yet. Is it worth seeing?
It's a 70s movie. It's old, but it's not a bad movie.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Does that have a happy ending?
It's a scary end. You know, back in the 70s, that was a scary, scary movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you need to watch it. You might like it. It's a little corny because it's old, and everything, but it's still got. Go ahead.
It kind of always sounds to me like a drive-through movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds to me like a drive-through movie. Right. So, have you lived in the woods then?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Did you live in the woods back then, Tonya?
No. I lived in eastern Kentucky where I'm at now, just a few counties down where I grew up. It's woodsy. I mean, it's the Appalachian Mountains where I live, and it stretches all the way from north all the way down the south. It's a long. The mountain range is really a long one. I mean,
yeah.
I've lived in residential areas, not like where I live now. It's closer to the city. It's suburbs. The last few years, actually, I live in suburbs areas. I never really lived smack dab in the middle of the city, and I live close to the woods. you know, like
Yeah.
out back of my house, there's a huge cemetery. And I blame that on a lot of the paranormal that goes on around here because I live right in front of a cemetery.
Okay.
But in
Oh,
woods, yeah.
yeah. What? Okay, I'm gonna come back to that cemetery in a little while because this is like kind of the present time. But
Mhm.
years ago, when it's things sparked your interest, did you have any experiences, any other experiences with either
Not
Bigfoot, Dogman?
not until 2014. I never seen one up till then. 2014. That was a big year for me. I got a
Okay,
lot of good evidence back then. Not so
okay,
much now on tape, but back then I had some good stuff,
right. Okay,
evidence.
can you let us know, like kind of a bit of a blow by blow on the year, how it panned out for you and what you experienced in
What now?
2014?
I apologize. Maybe something's wrong with my mic. I don't know. But what was your
No, it's fine. Yeah, no, in 2014, if that was like a 2014, if that was a year where you experienced a lot and things really started coming together and you started seeing things,
Mhm.
could you walk us through that year briefly, highlighting the experiences that stuck in your mind, Tonya?
Oh goodness. Well,
Yeah.
um, I'm gonna try and make it as short as possible. 2014 was the year that I got followed home due to gifting food and trinkets. That's what a lot of researchers used to do. Some still does, but I don't recommend it. But I was followed home by Dogman and Sasquatch. So I got my plate full. They never left. They're still around at night, around here. Um, that was one big event. The other events is um, at the state park where I would go. It's like a couple of counties away from my Boyd County. But I would, I'm trying to,
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Take
wait,
your time.
I thought I heard a knock on my door. Um,
Okay.
I witnessed a lot of the paranormal side of things, but I wasn't going to I didn't believe in that up until the last few years.
Okay.
But I've seen a lot of paranormal. Actually, my research, all these years, I have stumbled upon the paranormal every time. And so I got that and orbs and all that such thing, with it. And I got
Okay.
a lot of video from there. I mean, clear video from,
Mm-hmm.
they're on, you know,
Yeah.
film. And that was another
Okay.
thing I got to do in 2014.
Okay.
Um,
Tonya,
uh,
can I ask you, in 2014, you said that you had Bigfoot and Dogman
mm,
experiences. They followed you home. Why did they follow you home? Where were you where you think you picked them up and
um,
you believe you picked them
mm,
up and they followed you? Where were you coming from?
I it was a state park, a
Uh-huh.
couple counties from here, my house.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, that was what's caused them to, I was gifting them, and maybe where I'm a woman, they say, they like women a lot. That might be a factor. I don't know, but I was gifting and got
Right.
followed home just not long
Okay.
after.
Okay. Well, did they obviously they didn't come together. They came in separate times. Yeah. So you had Bigfoot one time and then Dogman the other, or did you have them both together? Did
Both,
you?
both.
You had Bigfoot and Dogman at the same time?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's normal at night around
No,
here.
really.
Mm. I've not researched Dogman that much, but I've been around them so much that I recognize their growls and stuff as being Dogman and Sasquatch. When I hear their noises, certain noises they make, I know that's a Sasquatch. That's how I no, I got used to their sounds. And, think about it, 2014, I've been getting used to it. So, yeah, I can pretty much
That's,
tell which is which,
yeah.
like at my windows or whatever,
Well, I mean, that's
outside.
a long time, Tonya. That's a long time. I mean, that's 10 years. You've
Mhm.
had 10 years of experience. So it is a long time. If anyone knows, the difference in the sounds, you're going to know, because 10
Yes.
years is a long time.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so when just briefly, a little bit more detail, when they followed you and you were where you are now.
Mhm.
Was it knocking at the door? Was it scratching at the window? What did they do? Did one go one side
Um,
of the building and one the other side, or what? What did they do, Tonya?
um, when they started coming around, there's a gap between a church building and my house, and nobody can see you if you walk through there. That's where all the activity was, around my living room and bathroom. My bathroom was scary at night. You could hear about anything going on in my bathroom. I mean, you could hear a pin drop almost. It's how thin the walls are and everything. But I would
Mm-hmm.
hear them around my windows and my bathroom, my living room. Those were the main targets for them to have, do whatever they want to do. I really don't know why they followed me home. To be honest, I assume what I told you about earlier, but the living room and bathroom outside, that's where
Okay.
and they would make noises and scratch at the siding. They would all kinds of stuff.
Okay? Did they throw anything at the building?
They throw little pebbles, rocks, little tiny pebbles at me when I sit on my porch at night. I don't know why they do that. But yeah, you can hear pebbles. I caught it on video. Pebbles thrown, not to hit me, but thrown my direction where I'm
Yeah.
at. Um.
Kind of getting your attention. Kind of getting your
Oh yeah.
attention. Yeah. Do you think that's what they're trying to do, Tonya? Do you think they're trying to get your attention? They're not scaring you. Do you think? Do you
No,
get the feeling?
they used to scare me, especially Dogman. Used to scare me. I'm more used to it now. Like before, they would always come in my backyard too, and for years, I was afraid to go in my backyard at night. Well, I'm not afraid anymore. I go out there all the time and film, like the full moon. Every full moon, I film that, and I go live a lot with that. Um, yeah, that's the backyard, and that I was always afraid, but now I'm not. So the fear has knocked down a lot for me.
Okay. With your experience, because you have had it go on for a long time, but would you say, when you see a full moon, does it get more active? Does Dogman get more active on a full moon?
Okay, this sounds crazy. I'm well aware of it, but that's how I noticed the UFO activity. Was filming the moon all the time, every month. I
Uh-huh.
would do that. We talked actually on live one night when I was filming the moon. Do you remember?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Um, but I started noticing not only Dogman and Sasquatch activity, but UFO UFO activity, and well, that'll come next. What I think about that. Um, yeah, this is like a miniature Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, have you heard of that in the U.S.
Oh,
Skinwalker Ranch?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
heard
my
that. Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, kind of, but my place is like that.
Mm. Yeah, I
All
got you.
kinds of
I
stuff
got
going
you.
on.
It's like yeah, like a smaller toned down version. Do you know we've got, Tonya? We've got over here, I think, the same high density activity. We've got a place where there's an awful lot of different activity going on, and I believe it's in a place, there's a big forest we've got called Cannock Chase,
Mm-hmm.
and there we've got a lot of activity. UFOs, orbs. We got a thing called a pigman over there, which I think
Really?
is a type 2 dogman. But
That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, really, really scary thing. It was meant, so yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you're saying. Do you think that the UFOs that you've seen are somehow connected
Yes,
to
definitely. Yes, they're
how?
all connected.
How
Um,
how do you think? I know it's you're not going to be right, you're not going to be wrong, but just what's your theory? What's your theory?
well, I'm going by experiences. How
Mm,
I noticed, like I said, the UFOs is, filming the moon every month. That's how I caught on to that.
mm.
And I would have activity at the same time. And this has happened several times. I would have the Sasquatch Dogman activity and a UFO would be in the sky. I mean, it happens a lot. And it happens the same time. That's why I'm convinced that there's a connection there between UFOs and Sasquatch and Dogman. I really believe that.
Okay. The cemetery is not very far away from you, is it?
It's right. I live right in front of it. I didn't know I was going to get asked that question. I should have took a picture of it
No,
and have
that's
on
fine.
my phone to give you.
Well,
It's a
no, that's
huge
fine.
cemetery. It's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, I can drop that. I'll drop that in on this video so people at home can see it. If you just send
Mhm.
me the photo, I'll drop it in. That's not a problem. Um, I mean, obviously, we don't want to see your house or anything like that, but yeah, if you just like the cemetery, that would be quite cool. And any other photos that you want to send over, send them to me. I'll give you my email address because that's the best way.
Um,
Because if you send it by
okay.
email, it kind of doesn't get so compressed. The
Hmm.
picture doesn't, and then I can use it better. It's clearer, and I can like drop it in on this so people at home get an idea of what. Um, uh, Okay, why I asked about the cemetery, Tonya, is this. We have such a thing over here as I call it a type 1 dogman, which is a quadrupedal, large-looking black hound, which
Oh.
is often seen in cemeteries. It has either glowing amber or red eyes. And this thing goes back hundreds of years. There's writings and scriptures over here. Scriptures, is that the right word? No, it's not scriptures. There's even like carvings, but
Hmm.
there's writings, very old. But we're talking down to the 13th, 14th century,
Wow.
15th. Yeah, long time of a dog creature, huge, a hound seen in cemeteries. Take, for
Hmm.
instance, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote Sherlock Holmes. You heard of that, right? Sherlock Holmes?
Hmm. Yes, I have.
Okay. Because there was that film with, what's his name? Iron Man. Yeah, that one. But, um, okay, so there was an episode of Sherlock Holmes, right, and a book written called Hound of the Baskervilles. And that was loosely based on a dogman creature.
I don't recall that.
Yeah,
That
Hound of
episode.
Baskervilles. Yeah, Hound of the Baskervilles. It's a real famous story, but it's kind of over in the UK. Sort of, it's a it came out a quite a big thing, but so it goes back a long way. Have you ever seen anything like that? Is there anything that's come out? What I'm saying is, there anything that's come out of the cemetery? Have you seen anything? Do they live in a cemetery? Do you think they're hiding in there?
Um, they seem like they're not scared of me at all. They would be cloaked or, I hate to say this, but invisible, and they would be. I noticed they prefer to be around my house up close, around the windows and such. The cemetery, I have lately heard them in the cemetery at night. They don't make a lot of noise. They imitate birds around here at night. Owls, birds that you hear in the daytime are chirping at 12 at night, you know it's not bad. You know
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
But they do hang out at the cemetery. Um, I kind of wonder. We watch for deer, me and my dog, because deer comes in close to the gate where I'm at. It's a little road in between, but it's the deer comes and grazes there at the gate, and I often wondered if there was let's say a Sasquatch out in the cemetery, and it might have. That's why I have so many deer coming in around the cemetery around my backyard. That might startle
Yeah.
them or something.
Yeah. What kind of dog have you got?
She's a little. You probably can hear. She's a little Chihuahua Yorkie. Yorkie
No.
Chihuahua.
Right. Yeah. You got a half Chihuahua. Yeah. I've got the same. I've got a Jack Russell. I've got two dogs. One's a Jack Russell. The other one's Jack Russell and Chihuahua.
Oh,
Yeah, I love Chihuahuas. I think they're great. I never had one. I didn't think I was going to like Chihuahuas. I thought they were going to be snappy little, kind of barky little snappy things. But no, they're really lovely and so loyal.
Cookie, my dog, can be vicious sometimes around a stranger. If you pick
Mm,
her up and you're going to reach her to somebody, for that person to hold her and pet her, sometimes she
mm.
goes berserk. I mean, she just barks like
Yeah,
she's vicious and
yeah.
everything. But that's
Do you
not
know?
often.
No, Chihuahuas are funny. They don't, for some reason, I don't think they like being picked up, especially by strangers. They've got a fear of being picked up.
Yeah, they
I
don't
read
like
that.
being picked up.
No, they don't. What I was getting, your dog, how does, are you afraid to let your dog out in the yard at
No,
night?
we sit in the car when I'm out there. And I prop my camera up to film, take video, and usually I have it pointed right at the cemetery. I'm in my backyard, but you could see in my videos, live videos,
Uh-huh.
the tombstones and stuff. You could see that.
Yeah.
But I record just to see if I get any vocals, Sasquatch
Okay.
vocals. That's the whole
Have you
reason
got
why I
any?
record. Um,
Have you got any, Tonya? Vocals?
oh yes, yes. I had one. Uh, 2 or 3 nights ago, it's on my profile of, and they was imitating, or one was imitating an owl. But if you listen to it, you could tell, no, that's not an owl. Um, but that's just one of the birds they imitate around here. And the little
Yeah.
birds that chirp in the daytime only.
Mm.
They'll sound like that too.
Damn.
They're real good at
Damn.
imitating animals or birds. I know that much.
They're brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Do you know, uh, I've only ever been, uh, interaction with a Bigfoot once in the UK, and that is at Cannock Chase. But normally, get this, I normally have interactions with Dogman, but I hear often owls, a lot of owl sounds.
I would
So,
not doubt that Dogman could do it too. I wouldn't doubt
mm,
it. I know Sasquatch does.
mm.
Uh,
Isn't it odd? Odd, really odd.
mm, it
Um,
is. And
yeah, strangest thing when you're out and you hear an owl, it's like wow, it's like it's really close, and you're thinking that just and it sounds like you said, it doesn't sound 100% like an owl. It sounds different somehow.
probably you had a Sasquatch, and I'm gonna say Dogman. I'm not sure of that. I'm just saying possible
Mm,
that you're
possible.
hearing, not owls. You know.
Yeah.
By the way,
Okay.
they also chirp, or like if let's say I go out on my porch at night, which happens a lot. They'll be around my house and sound like birds. One time they sounded like a hawk. You know what a hawk is, right? The bird.
No,
Um,
no. Well,
no,
there's
it's called a
people.
hawk. It's a type of
Oh,
bird here in the United States,
oh, a
but they
hawk.
imitate that.
Yeah, like a bird of prey, a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Got you. Got you.
They
Okay.
came up
Yeah.
to my bedroom window and sounded like a hawk once. One did. It was funny, I thought, but yeah.
Okay. Right. Um, Tonya, can I ask you something? You
Uh-huh.
know, there's a lot of people, and they say to me that Dogman does not get on with Bigfoot, and they fight each other.
I don't believe that. I really don't. I think there might be some that fight each other just because of their personalities. Who
Mm,
knows? But I really think in my area, if you get one, you get the other. In my area, I don't know about the other researchers, but no, I think they're friends. In my area, they hang around each other. I got
okay.
pictures of that.
I've got to ask this question as well. Is there anyone? Have you got any neighbours? Have they seen anything or heard anything? Have you
Uh,
spoken to your neighbours about this?
oh no, I keep it secret around here. They would think I was nuts. And I'm secretive with my mom and my son. I don't talk much about to him. He's seen him when he was younger, back then in 2014. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I lost track.
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
He said, no, that's fine. What I was asking you about was if the neighbours had seen anything or heard anything, and maybe approached you and said, "Oh, Tonya, did you hear that? Did you hear that owl the other night?" And
Yes,
I
I got
thought
it
they
one
might.
day. It's
No,
on record. It's recorded.
right.
Yeah, it's on my profile.
Okay, okay. Um, right. Another thing. Do you find that they have busy times of the month? I know it sounds strange, but are they like, can you kind of like on a normal evening for you, right? And or a normal day for you, you're at home, you're
Oh,
chilling out.
you mean with the activity a normal day?
Yeah, so a normal day for you. Yeah,
A
so a
normal
normal
day
day.
for me lately has been inside because it's been hot outside. We're still in the summer months, I think. Well, it's
Uh-huh.
September, so fall's
And
coming.
okay, what time would they start making sounds?
When at night, when I would walk out on the porch, which I do a lot, it seems like I get more activity out front of my house where houses are and street lights. I mean, that's crazy. I never thought that could be, but they are, they go invisible or cloaked. Some people say cloaked, and you can't even see them, but you can hear their noises, and I'm familiar with their noises they make.
Okay,
And every time I go on my porch, I get more activity there than in my at the cemetery and backyard, really. I don't know why that is. You would
okay.
think something like that would be afraid of street lights and all that, and they're not afraid.
I know you would, wouldn't you? I would think that. If I was kind of like, say I was stalking someone, if I was stalking you and your house, I would stay out of the street lamp. I would stay out of street lights. I would be in the shadows. I'd be around the back. It doesn't make sense that
Hmm.
they're out in the light or along the street. I don't know how busy your street is. Do you get a lot of traffic go up and down at night or
Not
not?
not a ton of traffic. No. I live in the suburbs.
Hmm.
Um, no,
You've
I
got
don't.
a train. You've got a train track near you because I remember when you were
Yeah.
doing your live, and you've done a lovely live, and I recommend anyone to just we'll get your details for your channel because Tonya does a live as just really even if you're not into cryptids or paranormal, it's just relaxing. It's so because you see the moon, the sky, and in the background you can hear a train going, like a freight train in the
Mm.
distance going past. It's very it's very relaxing, to listen to.
I've heard that all my life. I've always been around, fairly close to a railroad, and I've heard that sound my whole life, and it really does relax me. It makes me feel at home, because all my life I heard it,
Yeah.
or trains.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. Um, have you actually seen one of these Bigfoot cloaking? Have you seen
No,
one and then it
not.
disappeared?
I've seen them totally cloaked. I've not seen around the house here. I've not seen solid form really. I don't. Yeah, once I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe more than that. I'm trying to think, but it's mostly cloaked around the house, especially in the front of the house where the street lights and stuff is.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And hands up, I'm 100% behind you because I've seen cloaking in action myself. So I'm
Mhm.
100% behind you that one. Okay. Do you know, it's so strange that you've got Dogman and Bigfoot. I've never heard of that before, together so close. Why is it you think they're hanging around where you live?
Maybe they know something about me that I don't. I have no idea, none whatsoever. Maybe I should ask, but I
Do you
haven't all
give
these years.
do you put food out?
Not here, no. At the state park I used to go to, yes.
Okay.
But I don't do it nowadays because if you gift, you could be feeding Dogman too, not just Bigfoot, but Dogman.
Yeah.
And there's a chance
Yeah.
you'll get followed home. It's happened to other researchers.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend gifting because you might be feeding both, and you don't. I'm kind of still scared of Dogman in a way. I don't. I mean, they followed me home, and I'm trying to
Mm,
figure out why. And
I think, with my experience of Dogmen, um, they are if they do feed off fear, but listen, they are custom built for one thing only. If they
mm,
wanted to get you, they would do, and they would have done in the past.
oh
They
yeah,
obviously, so I wouldn't be unduly like frightened or afraid because you're still here, you're still living your life, and you're still enjoying your life. It's almost as if they just kind of they tag certain people. They kind of tag on to certain people that they know maybe you're more sensitive to them, and because of that, they like that idea.
yeah, I agree. It's a
You know,
possibility.
I
Yep.
think that's a strong possibility. Can we just touch upon uh, some of the UFOs that you've seen? Could you tell me what type of UFOs you've seen in the past?
I also have video of UFOs outside of my house. Um, I have video of it. You could see. I need to show you those.
Okay.
But as far as seeing flashing lights is the biggest thing. They could be like the other night. It was a triangle shape. The stars were a triangle shape, and they
Mm,
were blinking. I couldn't get it on film because there was light behind me, and for some reason it wouldn't let me. It
yeah.
wouldn't. I couldn't get
Yeah.
video of it. But they
Okay.
flash. They flicker, and that's mostly what I see. I have seen a full. I have seen one cross right in front of me
Mm,
2 or 3 years ago, and it was not flashing lights. It was, you could tell what it was when you seen it. It was as big as a jet airliner.
okay.
I mean, it was that size,
That's
that
big.
big.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. Uh, um, any idea on how far away it was from you, roughly? Any idea?
Um,
I know it's difficult. It's difficult, but
um, I'm not good with measurements. Um,
um,
it was
maybe
about 2 yards away. I'm just guessing 2 or 3 yards away. 2 yards. It wasn't that far away from me.
Damn,
Is
that's
where I
close.
seen it. Yes, it's close. I didn't know
That's
what to think.
close. Damn.
Yes, it
Wow.
happened.
I was expecting you to tell me just then. I was expecting you to say, well, okay, tell you what, Phil, it was probably about half a mile. You
No,
know?
this was close. I've had some
Wow.
freaky experiences around here, I'm telling you. Just absolutely
Yeah.
crazy sounding.
Yeah. Sure. No, I mean, that's mad. Absolutely mad. That's so close. Do you get a lot of orbs? You know, people see orbs of light. Do you get that around your
Oh,
way?
yeah. If you watch some of my lives and my regular videos, you'll see orbs, plenty of them. Where I go film this moon, I always usually capture orbs. It looks like coming from the cemetery. Um,
Oh, yeah.
so it
Makes
could
sense.
be spirits, I don't know, but I do capture them on film. I have a recent one actually on my profile. I'll have to gather that stuff up for you, won't I?
Yeah. Just
Mhm.
email it across. I've got my email address. I've got it. I've got it like up on there like that, going across. So yeah, just use the email address. It's on my bio anyway, and then as soon as I get that, I'll drop it onto this. And that'll be really cool because people will be able to, to see. It's one thing getting a description, but it's another actually seeing it on the screen what you're talking about as well. That kind of like gives it a whole new perspective, a whole new validity. You know,
Mhm.
um, on what you're saying.
I
Um,
need to gather that up. I don't know where everything is. So it's kind of scattered all over my profile. So I have
but
to
that's
take
fine.
some time and look it up. But I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
send you some stuff.
Yeah, this one, as I say, this will. I always try and get them out. These interviews, um, you know, once a week at least if I can. But so you got time. Just go through and then whatever you think is relevant to what we're talking about, just send it across and I'll edit it in. That's fine. That's fine. Not a
Yeah.
problem at all. Um, Right. So, another thing I was going to ask you was this: how, and this is a bit of an awkward one, but how can you tell the difference between dogmen and Bigfoot if they're outside? And this is not to trip
The
you up.
noises they make. Dogman, as far as I know, does not imitate birds. And I think it's Sasquatch because sometimes I would actually hear him or her, uh, um, So and I know I know the kind of sounds they make.
Mm.
Dogman, I heard them howl once behind my house, and it was kind of scary. It's been a few years ago, but they're
Oh yeah,
quiet for a lot. They're just
yeah,
kind of quiet. They don't want to be real loud here. There's been a couple of times they were, but they stay pretty quiet unless they're around my house and make their sounds.
yeah,
Uh,
sure,
you
yeah.
know,
No, they do, they are. Um, they're funny. They're kind of like they will follow a person back, and what they'll do a lot of scratching. Bigfoot will kind of like chuck stuff at pebbles, stones.
mm,
They'll also Bigfoot has a habit of leaving outside your door. It will leave almost like sticks in a certain configuration. It
I,
might be a cross or an X outside. Do you get that?
I call them stick glyphs. I think it's spelled
Uh-huh.
GLYPH.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got them one time. Uh, Near my living room outside, they put a triangle made it with sticks right by my living room outside. Don't know what that
Wow.
means.
Okay. Yeah. Next time you get those and you see them, just photograph them and
I
send them.
try to
Yeah.
keep things documented around here, but that day I didn't realize what it was. I didn't know anything about stick glyphs. I didn't know
Yeah.
anything about them. I thought it was just, I didn't pay much attention, but I know what I seen. It was triangular. That's been about kind of the only. There's another. Here we go.
Okay.
Here's another, the one at the state park. Now it's very. There's not a tree structure or whatever that I've ever seen like that one, and I got pictures of it too. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll send them.
Are they like in the state park? Are they? Do you ever find a big crosses like that, like two trees pulled up and put across each other? Do you find
I
those?
I've not seen the X's. I know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen the sticks on the ground, the glyphs,
Yeah.
and it's really neat. I've never seen one like this, but there's wood. It's a waterfall, a small one, very small, and
Yeah.
they placed trees around it, and they have that triangular on the bottom of the structure. See, there's something with triangular that I don't know what it means, but
You
it's
know.
obvious.
Yeah. Triangles. They're a big thing. Triangles.
Mm,
You know, for some reason, the teepee shapes and the triangle shapes have a big thing, and you get X's and the Y's as well. And um, I find an awful lot of like in the woods. More and more, I'm coming across clothing high up in the trees and the branches, trousers, pants, um, t-shirts, uh, uh, even things like dog harnesses high up in the trees. These things, and when you look at them, they're kind of like they're not old and tattered. They're quite new. It's like someone's taken them off, and for some reason they've shimmied up a tree, in their underpants to put their trousers on a top branch because they couldn't have chucked them up there. It wouldn't have landed that way. Oh, and guess what I found as well? Have you
well,
ever seen this? I'll tell you. Look, have you ever seen this? I saw arrows on the floor. They're walking along, and there's sticks in the shape of arrows, proper arrow shapes, pointing towards this large pond once. And this was in a place called Devon. I don't know if you've heard of it. In the UK,
mhm,
we've got Devon, Cornwall, but Devon this was. And it's really kind of like, and it was by some standing stones. And these stones are like, you've heard of Stonehenge, haven't you?
yes.
Yeah, okay. These stones predate Stonehenge and they're on private property. I had permission to look.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I got permission, and the guy said, Phil, you're a nut job. Do what the hell you want. If you want to dance around stones, you go ahead and do it. He said, just don't damage my fence. And I said, that's fine. That's fine. I'll do that. So I went and had a look, and then there was this pond, and I was guided to the pond by these arrows on the floor.
And maybe there's the water is that's what they're talking about. In other words, that's what they're showing you. I guess it
Mm,
has something to do with the water. Like, the one I was telling you about, the state park, it had water. It was a little waterfall.
mm,
So I
yeah.
don't know.
It's funny with water, isn't it? I've heard a lot of witnesses saying that they've seen a lot of, like you're saying, structures and stuff by water.
Yes, the state park. It had a big. Well, no, it had kind of a small lake. But the activity is right there where the lake is at the state park, and that's where they hang out. I think. I know one summer, 2014, they did. They hung out at a certain area around the lake. Um,
Did Tonya, did you just say rake? R-A-K-E?
Lake.
Lake. Okay. Okay. Got
Yeah,
you. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. 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 Because there's another cryptid called a rake, and I thought, wow, you got a
yeah,
rake.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Rake. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Stay away from them. My word.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
No, they're not good. So, do you do much in the way of research then? Do you ever sort of go out into the that park anymore, or
I've not been to the state park in 2 or 3 years. I know, but I know it's bad. I should go, but I can. I don't see the purpose in really going much. I mean, I can document stuff around the house here easier
well,
than I
that's
probably could at the state park.
yeah. I must admit, if I was in your boots, if I was in your shoes, I'd definitely because it seems to be all going on around where you live, you know.
Hmm.
And the cemetery, I think, is a focal point for you. That's a focal
Yeah,
point. No,
for the
there is.
paranormal, yes,
Yeah.
that's a whole different subject. I'm sorry.
Can I briefly just I mean we can save this for another episode, but I wanted to talk to you about this because uh, the little kid in me, yeah, I'm 57, but the little kid in me wants to ask you. I always wanted to live near or look upon a cemetery. You know, have you ever seen anything other than like? Have you ever seen any ghosts or anything? And we'll go into more detail in another episode. But have you seen any ghosts?
Once I did. I've seen plenty of orbs in the house. Um, but yeah, once I did. It was a little boy. I couldn't see. He was solid. You couldn't see through him.
Hmm.
But what happened was he stared at me, and I was in my living room. I used to sleep on the couch all the time. When you look in, you can see the kitchen through the house. He was standing in that kitchen doorway by my son's bedroom. Um, and like I said, he was solid form. He looked to be, for his height, he might have been around 6 or 7 years, 6, 7, yeah. That would be about what age, going by his height, you know.
Hmm.
But yes, that was the only time that I actually seen a full solid spirit. And he put his hands together and he died behind my kerosene heater and disappeared. Yeah, I mean, okay, imagine like if you're putting your hands together to jump in a pool. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know
Like if
what you're
you're
talking
jumping,
about.
that's
I know.
what he done, and he disappeared behind my kerosene heater that was kind of in front of the kitchen doorway.
You know
So
when he
that
put his
was creepy.
you know when he put his hands together, and you said as if he's diving into a pool. I get it. I get what you're saying. I get it. But also, when you first said that, I thought he was putting his hands together as if he was praying.
He was playing, of course. He wanted me to see him. I'm sure, he had to. He wanted me to see him. I thought it was my son at the time, but I kept staring because the way it stood there, and it was creepy. I just got the creepy feel, and I watched it, just stared it down, and it done the dive and the disappeared.
Uh,
That it was really freaky.
did Tonya? Did he walk? Did you see him taking steps, or did he kind of like float? Or
No, he was on ground. He didn't move forward or backwards. He was standing where he had been standing. He just put his hands together like he was going to dive in a pool, and he disappeared behind my kerosene heater. He didn't move back or forwards. He just done the diving, putting his hands together at the same, place he was standing.
okay.
So, if that makes any sense, I don't know if it does, but
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. Makes
yeah,
sense.
that
Yeah.
was the first time that I've ever seen one solid form.
Have you when you were a little girl? Um, had you had any Has this thing is this been going on? Since you were, the paranormal, has it always been sort of nudging you, poking you with a stick, or has it always just happened since 10, 12 years ago?
I didn't I didn't see a ghost, nor about anything. And it was 2012 when that happened. Yeah, I'm got distracted. And sorry about that.
No,
Yeah,
that's fine. That's
it,
fine. I was just
it
trying to
wasn't.
work out. Sorry,
I was.
Tonya, go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was around 40 when everything started coming together. I didn't have no experiences whatsoever until I was around 40 years old. I don't know why that is, but it's unusual. So the past 10 years, go over, I guess, has been paranormal,
Okay. When you had this, I always ask the same thing as well, because I think it has a direct a link to this thing. When you first started seeing, when you were in your 40s and you started seeing this stuff, what was your frame of mind then? Were you in a happy place or a sad place, or
I was depressed back then. Yeah,
okay.
really depressed. I'm not like it anymore, but then, yes.
Okay. That happens. That happens,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that does happen. It's almost like in a way, uh, they throw you a bit of a lifeline. They give you a focus away from yourself and your problems. They give you something else. So, it's weird, isn't it? They kind of like, snapping their fingers, going, right, okay, let's snap out of it. Look, we're here. Look, um, focus on us. You know, uh, you know,
yeah.
it's kind of, I don't know. It's funny. A lot of people who have troubles in their life, it's at that point that they recognize, and they start seeing weird
That's
crap.
true. Yeah. For me, it's true.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Odd, odd. Um, have you ever had anything happen inside your house, and have you got any protection for your house?
No protection. Um, here's a really crazy thing. Um, and the Sasquatch, I don't know about Dogman, but Sasquatch has come into my house. Now, I realize how insane this sounds. I'm not crazy. Like, I'm not
Okay.
making it up or anything. I mean, they came in the house more than one occasion. How I know that? Because as I was saying earlier, their noises, they was cloaked, you couldn't see them, but you would hear their noises in the house. That's how I knew they were in the house. Um, another, they there's another sound they make often. It's a whimpering puppy dog. Like crying dog, puppy
Oh,
dog.
yeah.
Yeah, they would do that around the house too, and inside here. I have seen that spirit that was in here, that little boy. Um, I've seen orbs in here, especially I've seen a few lighted ones. It looked like it was lit. It was bright white. I mean, it's like it had its own energy source to provide, that light, but it didn't. That's not true. But um, I think it's about it that I've witnessed in the house, that I've seen.
Damn, I think, well, that's enough. That'll be enough for me. I know that.
I don't like living in a haunted house. I really don't. I wish
That
that I didn't live in front of the cemetery. I blame that a lot with the spirits coming in. Yeah,
Wow, I must admit, you're a brave woman. You're a brave woman. To even come out and talk about it, because a lot of people, they
they
think
won't
if they talk
understand.
about it, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I get it. you know, because you know some of the stuff, if you've heard me in the past, some of the stuff I've come out with, you know, I don't expect people to believe me,
Mhm.
you know, as well, because
I don't.
it's not, you know, because it's so absurd. Some of it seems so absurd. It seems so
Yeah, it
stupid,
does.
you
Especially
know.
them coming in my house. That does sound absurd. I mean,
Yeah.
I realize how crazy it sounds, but it's true, totally true. They can go in your house. They're like a ghost. They can turn to spirit form, and I guess go through the walls. Like a spirit
Okay. Yeah.
does. But yes,
Yeah.
they got to take spirit form in order to do that.
Were they? Do you think it was looking for something in the house?
I think they just wanted me to know uh, they wanted me to know they're around. Is why that's what I think. You know, close, but
Yeah.
for some reason they have a high interest in me. I don't, like I said, I don't know why they're around, followed me home and all that stuff. I would love to know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I think it would be. I think there's more to tell on your story. Definitely, there's more. I mean, I would like to ask you some more stuff, really, but at the moment, we're coming up to an hour.
Okay.
At the moment, and what I'm going to do, if it's all right with you, Tonya, is that okay? If you would you like to come on again? Would you do that?
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, and then what we can do is, in the meantime, if you can send over some photos and
Mhm.
video, and um, in the meantime, that'd be brilliant. And then when you like come on next, we can kind of like integrate everything together, you know.
That sounds great.
I think that sounds really fantastic. Where can people find you, Tonya?
Well, you could say my last name. It's on Facebook. Would be where to find me.
Okay,
Tanya
okay.
Aston. That's
What I'll do, I'll put the description and the link for your Facebook, if that's okay. If I got
mhm.
your permission, I'll put that on the description of
Uh,
the video as well.
yes.
Um,
Okay.
I do recommend that people do go and have a look at some of Tanya's stuff, because it really is fascinating. I mean, as I say, no, I've been on a live watching, and it's just so it really is cool. And where she lives is, it's only on video. I've never been, but you just get. I got a feeling there's just it's something in that area where she's living.
Mhm.
I 100% do believe this. Whether it's the area or whether it's Tonya, I don't know. That I don't know. But no, fascinating. Tonya, I
Lots
want
of
to say
different
thank.
things. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it is. No, no. Is there anything else you want to mention?
No. On the second round, I'll talk more about it for
Okay,
sure.
cool. Okay. All right then. If you like to stay on, I'll just yeah. So if you stay on for a minute, I'll just and thank you very very much for coming on. I
I,
appreciate that, and we shall
I
see you
want to.
again.
I want to thank you for having me. It's you
Oh,
know.
no, thank you. It's really absolute pleasure that, it's nice to give, to enable you to like have a voice, just because
Mhm.
everyone's got a story, and you've got a hell of an interesting story.
I love talking about the
Um,
stuff.
yeah, 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 no, and you got a lovely accent as well. I love your accent.
Thank you.
Uh, okay, Tonya, thank you very much, and we shall speak very soon. If you'd like to stay on for a bit, that'd be good. Um, Right, as I say, I shall put a link for the Tonya's Facebook on here for people to have a little look at. And I just want to say thank you very much for joining us. It's been great. I'm definitely going to have Tonya back on And let's say thank you, and have a good day, evening, and night, as it were.